Well, hello, good afternoon everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you're doing fantastic out there. In this video today we have another offering from WattCycle. This is their 12.8 volt lithium iron phosphate battery that has a 8 amp hour capacity. Now before I get started, I want to remind you that they are still running their summer sale at the time of me filming this video. The summer sale ends on Thursday, August 22nd. And don't forget, I am giving away one of these batteries and one of the 50 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries. And that giveaway, I will put a video link in the description box down below. That contest is open still until Sunday, August 25th at midnight 01. Now it's not hard to enter that contest at all. WattCycle is sponsoring those batteries. Hope you guys go over there and get involved. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the package. Right here you can see there is some contact information for WattCycle. I do want to say thank you to WattCycle right off the bat for sending this battery out for review. Let's go ahead and get started and open this package. Now at the time of me filming this video, the current retail price for a battery like this is around $40. Now I know that there's a lot of people out there that look at a small battery like this and they don't believe that you can do a lot with something like this, but to the contrary folks, you actually can. These perform very well. Now the next thing that we see here is the user information. So we'll just take a quick look at this little quick chart, this guide here. Here is a list of applications. Right there, RV, campers, trailers, caravans, camping, truck, bus, etc. Solar and wind systems. You can use it for boating and fishing, fish finders. You can use these for wireless lawnmowers, vacuum cleaners, washing machines, car audio equipment, emergency lighting. If you want to create an emergency ham radio station, you can do that. Electric equipment and telemeter equipment, toys and consumer electronics. So the list goes on for the type of uses that you can use a battery like this for. 12.8 volts, negative terminal, positive terminal, and then right here is some specifications of the battery. Feel free to pause your screen if you want to read that information a little bit longer. So the key point that I want to make note of here is the watt hour capacity. That helps you determine how long you can do certain things. And right here is the dimensions of the battery. It is 6 inches long, 2.6 inches wide, and 3.8 inches high. So here are some key features. It does tell you how to connect them in a series, also how to connect them in parallel. It's very important that you charge these batteries before you tie them together. Here is 4 batteries in parallel, here is 4 batteries in a series, and then it does say right here again, step number 1, fully charge the batteries separately, and then to connect them together and wait about 24 hours. Now on the back here, it talks about different methods of charging these batteries. So you can use a dedicated lithium ion phosphate battery charger. You can use your vehicle to charge these things, solar panel, or a generator. So lots of options come to mind when it comes to charging these batteries. Now there is an instruction manual. Again, feel free to pause. There's a lot of information there. And then right here are some of the main parameters. We're looking at this column right here. They do offer bigger batteries, obviously. So if you're looking for a 12 amp battery, a little more capacity, here's your specs. And then of course your specs for the battery that we're looking at today. So very, very nice. And without further ado, let's go ahead and pull this battery out. There's nothing left in the box. It does come with some insulators so that the battery does not get shorted out during shipment, and that is a nice battery. It does have an 8 amp BMS. Again, there's some more contact information for WattCycle. This does take a terminal to connect here. I forget what they call that terminal, but it's very easy. And if you want to connect multiple batteries in a series or parallel, you can get some stuff at your local hardware store and make a set of wires just like this that will connect to those terminals, and then you can connect multiple batteries if you chose to do that. Now right out the box, I want to take a voltage reading of the power and see how much we have in this battery. So let's go ahead and set up the old fluke right there, volt direct current, and let's see what we have out the box. So right now we are looking at 13.23 volts. Not too bad, but it does need to be charged. This battery is pretty lightweight. It doesn't weigh a lot. It's only 2.2 pounds. Now, it does say that I can charge up to 8 amps, but I'm just going to use this little 5 amp lithium iron phosphate charger. So it has the little alligator clips here. I will just connect the negative terminal here, and you can see the little green light. And there's the positive terminal. So as you can see, it turns red, and charging will be complete when that turns back to green. So we're just going to wait and let this battery charge. And here you can see we have a green indicator, which is telling us that charging is complete. It didn't take that long. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to take another voltage reading and see where our voltage is now after we have this thing fully charged. So let's take a look. 13.37 volts. So that is fantastic. Now we're fully charged and we can hook this up and start using it. So today I'm going to be using a 500 watt pure sine wave inverter. This inverter has alligator clips, so I'll just connect to the negative terminal here and then connect to the positive terminal here. You saw that little spark. That is normal. That is just the capacitors charging. Let's do that again. Let's just hook it up like that. And now we have our inverter connected. We can turn it on and we can start running devices now. Let's go ahead and turn this on. I'll wait for that red to turn green, which means we are now powered and we can run devices off of this inverter. On this particular inverter that we're using today, on the back side, it does have a voltage screen, so you can see in real time the voltage of the battery, 13.5. Now, one thing that I'd like to do before I start doing any testing is I'd like to add a watt checker onto the inverter so I can see in real time the amount of watts that I'm pulling out of this battery for this test. Now we can see that I've added a evaporative cooler. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Here in the Southwest, evaporative coolers are a good thing to have. So we'll just go ahead and put it on low cool. And on low cool you can see 50 watts, 45 watts, 41 watts, 40 watts. And as you can see, it's running this cooler absolutely fantastic. Now with this amount of draw, I could run this cooler for over 2 hours. It's a really good feeling to know that I can run a cooler off of this small battery using a small power inverter. Now we'll just go to low fan. We'll see what it does when I turn the pump off. Look at the wattage, it drops down to 35.7. So that's pretty nice. That's on low fan. Let's go to high fan. 50.8 watts. Not too bad. And then if we do pump only, let's see what pump only is. 4.5 watts, 4.9, 4.8 watts just for the pump. Now lastly, let's go all the way to high cool and see what kind of wattage draw we get on high cool. 56 watts, 55.8, so not too bad. So even on high cool, I could run this cooler for about 2 hours on high cool. But honestly, I like it on low cool. High cool seems a little much for me. So low cool is where it's at, 40 watts. That just gives us a little bit more run time out of this cooler. So we are still running on low cool, and it's amazing to me that you could run such a large device or appliance on such a small battery. Now if we want to do the math, 12.8 volts multiplied by 8 amps, that gives us 102.4 watt hours. If we divide that by what's it drawing, 40.1, that technically should run for 2.55 hours. That is absolutely fantastic. Very good performance that you could get out of this small tiny little battery. This battery can cycle up to 20,000 times. That's crazy. It does have that built-in 8 amp BMS, which offers low temperature protection, and this battery does have an IPX7 rating. So that's crazy. That means that this battery can actually be somewhat underwater as long as the terminals don't go underwater. I'm not saying that you need to install this underwater. No, what I'm saying is if it gets rained on, you're going to be just fine. Now, if you compare a battery like this to a lead acid battery, you'll notice that these lithium iron phosphate batteries have 63% more efficiency and 38% smaller in their footprint that they take. They're a lot smaller. These batteries are also environmentally friendly, unlike lead acid batteries. So if you're going to be putting this in an off-grid type situation, maybe a camper or in the back of your vehicle or something like that, these batteries do not off gas, so you don't have to worry about getting sick or something like that. This battery is made out of grade A cells. Again, when I talked about the BMS earlier, I talked about low temperature protection, but it also has overcharge protection, it has over discharge protection, over current protection, as well as short circuit protection. Now this battery does have the ability to operate in some pretty extreme conditions. If you want to talk about the minimum discharge temperature in which this battery can operate, that is anywhere from -4 degrees Fahrenheit or -20 degrees centigrade, all the way up to the maximum discharge temperature of 158 degrees Fahrenheit or 70 degrees centigrade. That is just a fantastic variance as far as temperature in which you can discharge this battery. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the current retail price of this battery is about 40 bucks. If you want a larger battery, the 12 amp model is about 50 bucks. Now, if you get them on Amazon, it's not uncommon to see coupons on there where you could save additional money. Now, as you can clearly see in this video today, this little 8 amp battery has no problem running this evaporative cooler. It's also a good option if you're going to be wanting to charge power tool batteries and you're using a smaller battery charger. Like my little DeWalt tools, I have a battery charger that only pulls like 30 watts or something. So right now you can see a small off-grid setup that I can easily connect this battery to. This is a 25 watt solar panel. It does have a 10 amp charge controller as well as a 500 watt power inverter. So the second that I connect the battery on the inverter here, I can see the voltage, and now the charge controller comes to life. So in the event that I add sun to this situation, now I have a complete miniature off-grid situation that lets me run cameras, charge phones, run my power tool battery chargers, all kinds of things off of such a small system. You can run fans off of this. You can run, like we showed, the evaporative cooler. And now that we have solar power coming in through a charge controller that'll charge lithium iron phosphate, we have a complete system that's very easy to build, and it's not too heavy on the pocketbook. And there on the charge controller you can see 13.3 volts. Very simple wiring. And now we can run whatever we need to run. 13.2 volts. Batteries connected, and we have a monocrystalline 25 watt solar panel. This is a complete system, and it works really good if you're wanting to do light duty stuff off the grid. Well folks, my final thoughts on this WattCycle 8 amp lithium iron phosphate battery are good. I like this battery. It performed very well, as you could see in the video today. If you're going to want to install or build a small off-grid setup, a battery like this would be fantastic for something like that. Now don't forget that the sale is still going on until the 22nd, and the giveaway on my channel is still live until the 25th. The links to those things will be in the description box down below. So with all that being said, folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, everybody.